Hello, my beautiful goddesses. Welcome to another episode of the new money series, The Frequency of Wealth and Money. And in this episode, we are going to be talking about something very important, and that's about the questions you should be asking before saying I do before getting married. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I am Olga Nelson. I am known as Polkis. I'm a certified money coach. I'm an investor. I'm a day trader. And I'm also an engineer, wife, and mom. And in this channel, we talk everything that has to do with money, all the things that you need to prepare to be talking about money, the frequencies of money, money mentality, everything. So I invite you first, welcome, and I invite you to check this channel, to check this new series. I'm gonna leave it in the description below. And if you're liking this video, please ask your questions, like this video, and send it to someone that is about getting married, but she needs to be asking these questions. So honestly, ladies, love is great. We all love love. I'm married, I'm a wife, I'm a mom. I love love. But also, financial stress can be one of the things that can break love, that can break relationships. And I know people say love forever, marry for love. Yes, I agree. Money is the most beautiful thing. Love is the energy that moves this earth. But also, we live in a very physical world, right? That money moves a lot of the things. Money creates opportunities for you to have blessings, for you to have abundance, for you to stay at home if you want to be a mom, for you to buy a cat and have a cinema. Look at my cat. I love that cat. But honestly, money and financial stress can ruin even the strongest relationships. I heard about nasty stories about relationships that ended because of money or because of financial stress. And if you don't know, ladies, like money is one of the top 5 reasons why people get divorced. So before we get into all this mess, I want you to start getting comfortable talking about money, talking about finances, you having a better relationship with money. Because if you believe in abundance, if you have this mindset of abundance, of growth, of like that you can generate your own money, that you can grow and you can be comfortable around wealth and create wealth, then I know that you're gonna have a good future, right? So before saying I do, if you're engaged, maybe you want to get married, maybe you're in the early dating season. By the way, the last episode, I put the questions that you should be asking in early dating stage, so go check it out. But here I'm going to give you 5 essential money questions before you say I do for you and your partner to discuss. So let's get started. Let's jump in it. I have my drink here and my notes. Question number 1. What was your money story growing up? We're going to get deep. But if you want to marry this man, you need to go deep. You need to know who this person is, who raise them, who are they, how do they think. So one of the main question is like asking them, what is your money story? What was your money story growing up? How did money look for you in your childhood? What was some of the beliefs that your parents put in you? What was money like growing up, right? Like he can start sharing about maybe his financial hardships through his dad, maybe with his mom, maybe like they had a rough upbringing, or maybe it was a very abundant household and they were investors, or they were like career people. These are very, very important questions because you can start understanding how his ancestors, his parents or grandparents started talking about money, and you can discover if money was a topic of conversation in his household. So by asking this question, you can start learning about what are his kind of like how he grew up with money, his upbringing, and you can start discovering if they still hold some of those programming or those beliefs that they kept and acquired from childhood, right? Like it's not our fault of the type of programming our parents gave us. That's just the best they did. And the number one thing is like we have to forget our parents. It's not their fault. They did their best. But now it's our responsibility as adults to start getting comfortable talking about money. If your situation, if your childhood was not great when it came to money, then now it's your responsibility to create that for you and for your future generations. So ask him, what is the money story? What was your money story growing up? And I know that money can be a very triggering topic, but here you can learn about the person, because if this person gets very triggered, he's not open about sharing anything about money, then you know they have a long a very long way to fix their relationship with money, to be open about talking about money. And remember, marriage is a partnership. You just don't marry this person, you marry their family, you marry their debt, you marry their financial habits, you marry their mindset, you marry their soul. And whatever that soul has here, whatever that soul came here to do, the traumas, the triggers that that person has, you are going to be sleeping with this person. You are going to be a partner with this person. And both can grow and evolve. But if you start learning about what is his money story growing up, and is that the same story they're using? So when you start talking, when you bring up the conversation of money and this person gets very triggered, he gets like kind of like, no, don't get in my business, then that's a red flag. I'm not gonna lie, I will be like, why is he so upset? Why is he so triggered? And remember, the triggers have nothing to do with the other person. The trigger that the person feels, it's about them. It's about the wounds that this person has that hasn't healed. So if you see a magenta flag over there, big girl, like start questioning some things. And if you really love this man, ask yourself if you're willing to put up and help him grow financially and to better their relationship with money, right? So me and my husband, when we were before getting married, obviously we had to do all the legal stuff. We brought everything to the table. What is your debt? What is my debt? We both share what were our stories growing up when it came to money. It was very triggering for me sharing a lot of the things. But once I said it, I'm like, you know what? It's out. There is nothing there that you don't know about me anymore. Like, you even know about my parents, how they raised me financially. And he told me about his parents too. And it was a very healing talk. And money, we talk money with my husband every day. We run businesses together. I do day trading. He has another 2 businesses online. He has a full-time job. We talk about money. Money is kind of like a how are you, right? Like, how is the financials? How is the business? So now it became very normal to talk about it. But before getting married, like, you need to know, what is the money mentality of these men? What is the money story they were raised with? Because that way you can know what are you going to be dealing with. And remember, when we get married, when we start our family, I read this book. It's written by a couple. It's kind of like they were therapists, couple therapists, and the book is called Claim the Love You Deserve, something like that. And they were talking about when you get married and you have a house now, like your family, unsubconsciously you're going to start recreating your family from childhood. So these are things that we maybe consciously are not doing, but maybe once you get your kids, you're gonna start teaching your kids what your parents taught you about money, because you know nothing better. And you think that's the only way because that was the way it worked for your parents, but it doesn't mean that it's gonna work for you unless they are like owners of something and you're passing down some legacy. Then girl, teach me. So that was question number 1. Number 2, how much debt do you have? Remember, you're marrying this person's debt as well. So you need to be aware if they have any student loans, credit cards, loans, past financial mistakes that they had. Maybe they signed up for bankruptcy. That is something that you have to be very clear before getting married. Because transparency about debt is going to help you plan for your financial future, and is going to help your relationship get stronger, and your trust as well. So especially ladies, I will highly suggest, if you maybe like, I know some women buy some houses or properties, or you have some business that you started. There is a lot of boss babes now and you have a business, or maybe you are expecting inheritance or your parents left you something. I will highly recommend to seek financial advice and see if it's possible for you to sign a prenup. When you sign a prenup, that's when you're going to disclose everything. That's when you're going to share all the debt, Remember, we're being transparent here. You need to know about his student loans. He needs to know about your student loans. How many credit cards? How much in credit do you own? Past financial mistakes. So you need to both talk about it. I remember it was, by that point, we used to talk a lot about money already. So it was very comfortable kind of like putting everything on the table. Like, this is how much I own. These are my credit cards debt. This is my student loans. This is how much I owned. He told me how much he owned in the properties, credit cards, everything. So everything is clear. And when there is a prenup, you can have your own lawyer, your attorney. You can go seek legal advice, sign a prenup. And I remember, oh my God, I just watched the latest Love is Blind. Yeah, Love is Blind series. And there was this guy, I don't know the names, okay? I just watched the show, but there was this lady, I think she was a doctor, and she asked him, hey, I want to sign a prenup. And him and his whole family got so triggered about the prenup. And I noticed that people get very triggered and uncomfortable to something they don't know. It's not their fault. It's just that they don't know any better. They're not familiar with it. They're not educated about what a prenup is. They instantly thought that she was already thinking about divorce and everything, and it shouldn't be like that. No, it's just one of the principles that if you have wealth, one of the principles is to take care of your wealth. And one of the ways that you take care of your wealth is taking care of it, signing a prenup. So of course, there is people that don't want to, they want to start like sharing everything together since the day one. But at least be aware if there is any big loan, mortgage, student loan, credit cards that you need to know. Because if you marry this person and then you find out all the crap, all the financial mistakes they did, maybe the time they signed up for bankruptcy, or maybe they got evicted from an apartment or a rental unit, then you're going to be very heartbroken and you're going to be disappointed. And trust me, trust is going to be out the window. For you to trust again, it's going to take you time to forgive. Remember, because money, it's a very delicate topic. People rather sleep together than knowing each other's debt. It's like, I'll sleep with you, just don't ask me about my credit report, my student loans, my credit card debt. Just don't ask me about it, because it will trigger you. So do yourself a favor before saying I do. Ask about how much do you own? I swear. Number 3, we're gonna be asking, how do you handle money? How do you handle money? Are you a free spender? Are you a saver? Because if you both are financial opposites, I talk about these. This was a similar question, if not the same question I asked in the other video, in the past video, because you need to know if this person is a spender. If he's a free spender, he's paycheck to paycheck, he doesn't save anything, he doesn't think about the future, he is not an investor at all, but you do want to build generational wealth, girl, you're going to clash, because you both are going to be just clashing with each other. You want to save, but he wants to spend. Or maybe you're the free spender. You just want to buy every shiny thing you see out there, and you're not thinking long term. You're not thinking about building generational wealth, putting aside money, having some tight months or a year to buy a property, to buy your home. Then you're going to be miserable. You're going to be uncomfortable if he's a tight person and he's saving for financial future, or maybe he wants to retire early, but you want to spend every dime he gets. So if you're financial opposites, then you have to come to agreement that, you know, both have to meet in the middle. In my case, I'm the more kind of like free spender, I would say. But in the past 5 years, I have truly learned and get educated about money. So I became the opposite. This is something that you can learn to manage and control, but I'm for the long term. I want to invest. So any money I get right now, I put into the day trading. I buy either Bitcoin or Ethereum or another cryptocurrency, or I buy a stock or an index. It's fun for me because now, after years, I understand the importance of financial literacy and investment. I also have fun. I love to dress up. I love to buy jewelry. I love to buy makeup. I love to shop. But you have to understand that once you reach your goal, you can start enjoying a little. But also, don't wait until you have everything. You also have to have a plan for you to start enjoying at least a little right now, because otherwise, if you are very tight and don't enjoy, you're not gonna feel like the encouragement to continue saving. So ask him, how do you handle money? Are you a spender? Are you like a saver? Because once you start understanding this person's spending habits, you are going to prevent future conflicts. And you can also like come to an agreement, meet in the middle. Hey, we're gonna spend this amount of money for fun, but we're also gonna be investing at the same time this percentage. So you both feel like you both like came to an agreement, but you're being satisfied at the same time. What are we on? Number 3. Is it number 3? Number 4. I forgot the question, but next question. Will we combine finances or keep them separate? Like once we get married, are we gonna be combining finances? Like, is it gonna be our money? Honestly, ladies, like once you get married, it's better to have the mentality that it's our money. Like it's our money. We still have like our individual accounts that we had before marriage, but now the accounts after we got married is combined. Like we have our home account or business account, combined accounts, because it's like better to think like, hey, whatever comes is for us, right? Like it's our family, we are one now. But if you don't have this mentality, then you're always going to be separated from this person. Like, this is my money, whatever I make is my problem, my money. But ask him about what he thinks about that. Like, are we combining our finances, like joint bank accounts, separate bank accounts? Some couples do a mix like we do, and some don't, but it's like a personal choice. But it has to be whatever makes you feel more comfortable. I understand, like for example, me, I started like a business, so I had to keep that account separate. But then we combined other ones. We combined the business ones, and there's multiple accounts, but we see it as like we're one. This is for our family. So ask this question. So once you get married, like you have to talk about it. You have to talk about it, especially if you want to have kids, if you want to stay home, if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, raise your children. Like finances is something that you always going to have to talk about. This conversation is going always to pop up, is always going to come out. So it's better to start talking about before marriage, so you have an idea that you can talk to this person about money. And have in mind that the conversations that you have right now and the answers you get, they will change later. We are evolving souls. We're always changing. So just because they tell you like, I'm a spender, that doesn't mean that that person cannot learn how to save. So in a year or two that you're married, maybe you're going to learn that he's learning how to save and now he's the saver. So you need to like have also that flexibility. And that's why it's always important to continuously talk about money. Every month, every week, every day, at least once or twice a year, to check your budget to see where you are going with your financial goals. Number 5, what are your long-term financial goals? This is a question that I always like to ask, even if we're married for a long time with my husband. I always ask him like, hey, what are your long-term financial goals? Sometimes I get the same answer, or sometimes I get whatever project he's working on, like he has a goal for that. But are you gonna own a home? Are you going to move states? Are you gonna move cities? Are you gonna buy any investments? Are you gonna put aside money for the stock market, buying properties, opening that business? Are you gonna have kids, right? Like these are just values also that you need to talk about before getting married. Money is definitely one. So are we gonna have kids? And if we do have kids, how are we gonna hire help? Am I quitting my job? Is someone quitting their job? What are we gonna do? Retirement plans. What is a retirement plan, right? Like how do we plan? Because if you both align in these big money goals, then it's more likely that your relationship is going to go smoother. Of course, this is not everything. This is just one pillar of it, one component, but we're saving you a lot of drama here. If you have this conversation beforehand, trust me, your marriage can go a little smoother on this area, right? because that way you can have financial harmony. You're not going to be questioning, am I paying? Are we going to buy a house? And as I say, the answers can change, but at least you're doing your homework and your due diligence of talking about money when it comes to, you know, your husband. And a bonus, I want to give you a bonus. How will we handle financial emergencies? Emergencies are always happening. So you need to talk about, like, if you're gonna have an emergency fund account or insurance, life insurance, a plan for unexpected expenses, because this conversation can prevent future stress. Honestly, like I'm telling you, we have this rental property business, and we always have to have emergency cushion because there is always a thing going on. There is always plumbing issues with one of our rentals. One of the AC units just broke down, so we have to put $8,000 in it. Where are we gonna get it? That's why we plan for it. We always are prepared. But obviously this relationship didn't start that way, but we started because we talk about those things. We plan for emergencies. Maybe there is a death in the family, maybe there is a trip that you have to do. So you always have to have this conversation about how we're going to be dealing with financial emergencies. Are we going to have an emergency fund? Are we going to have life insurance? So be open to have these conversations because this can really help you getting rid of financial future stress. So remember that marriage is a partnership. You are going to be doing together everything. You are one, and financially you are going to be one. So these questions will help you build trust for the future, will help you know better your partner, how they deal with money, how they handle money, how they see money combined or separate, their money history when they grew up, and how will they handle financial emergencies. So comment below, what part do you like? What questions would you like me to answer? If you have any questions, any comments, ask me anything. And please don't forget to like and subscribe and check the other episodes because there is so much juice in there. So thank you so much for watching, my goddess. I love you, and I'll see you in the next episode.